Hey everyone, Chad here, and welcome to MLB 2k11 First Impressions, guys. And we're gonna pick this game right here. It's the first inning. I think I missed it by 1 out, and this is 1 out in my player mode on the MLB game. And this is, for all you guys don't know, my player is a created guy you can make in a, and throw him into the a franchise of whatever your liking is. Could be the Red Sox, could be this. I am obviously from the Red Sox because I am on the Portland Sea Dogs, as you can see. And this game, you know what? I'm not convinced on it, guys. I'm not gonna lie. As you can see here, the pitching mechanics behind this got a little hard for me to understand right away. And as you can see, you really have to. I think when you first start out pitching in this game, and if you haven't really played the older series of this, you really just gotta stick with a fastball and changeup. Then get used to your mechanics and timing with like the easiest pitches first, and then get kind of fancy with like 12 to 6 curveball or knuckle curve or whatever. You know what I mean? Because it's really gets real. It took me about about like 3 tries or 4 tries in a row just to finally get the pitching. Like right there, it said bad gesture. My knuckle curve. It actually was a perfect one, but I just let off too early. So right when I'm playing this game, I'm still not even used to doing the knuckle curve, but as you can see, as I progress through this game, I get a lot better at it, and basically don't get any bad gestures anymore. And basically for you guys, I want to mention that if you guys are really struggling, pitching, like pitching-wise, if you really struggle or something like that, maybe this is what you really want to focus on. You basically want to focus on your first gesture, which means like a fastball, you push down. You push down on your analog right when that outer ring kind of extends out. Your main goal is you're trying to like stop it right before it gets to the outer circle, the white circle there, and that's when you make your second move. That stops the yellow bar from going out anymore. So it's like you make your first gesture, you hold, and you wait, and you push up, and then the ring will stop to that's how much you put into the pitch. And it took me a little while to get used to that, guys, because I don't know why, but it just felt kind of awkward for me to do that because it was just like it was like a translation from MLB The Show when it's used to like a bar. But I know this year's show, I have not done a review on it yet, but I saw a couple videos from it. It's a different pitching mechanic in that game, but enough of that. Getting back to MLB. So, like I said, this is the My Player mode. I have not played much of the MLB series since basically a while ago, and probably like, to be honest, pretty much since 2K6 or 7. And I never really got into this game. It kind of let me down. Just comparing it from its counterparts of 2K makes NBA 2k11, and that game is really well done. I mean that NBA 2k11 series is really something else, I'll say. But it just felt like this game was a carryover, and they threw in the My Player. They didn't really do too much. I would like to see more of the My Player stuff, and it just doesn't feel right for me. I feel like you just throw you into games and you just keep playing it, and you do the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And you really don't feel like you're in My Player. You know what I mean? It's all about the experience for me. And when I look at games like this, it's all about how I feel when I play this game. And what I feel is like what I really do feel like when I play this game. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't. It just, there's not enough coverage in there. It's just like, hey, play this game, do it. You earn points. Obviously, it's like the same stuff over and over again. It drives me nuts, to be honest. As for the hitting mechanics on My Player, maybe that might be exciting to you even more, but I'm more of a guy that likes to play a lot, and that's why I did pitcher in this. As you can see here, this is on Pro, by the way, and I'm just striking out guys on Pro pretty easy. And I pretty much dominate this game just by pitching fastballs and changeups and some knuckle curves here and there. Obviously, you can only start out with 3 pitches when you first start My Player. And obviously you have to build skill points, which you earn throughout here. You get basically set goals they make you do, throw a first strike pitch, get a ground out, or get a fly out, or something like that. It'll give you like these list of goals for each batter. It'll keep popping up after each batter, which you have basically already seen. And you pitch your game, you pitch the game throughout, the whole thing, and you really see how you do. At the end of the game, you get like the skill point thing, like, oh, you got 1,000 for all the work you've done. Now, the My Player, that's where I didn't really attract me, guys. I'm not really for this game. I mean, I could play it online. It kind of has that lag mechanic online, too, but it got a little better this year from last year's game. I got to play last year's game very late, and it wasn't really that good for me. But this year's game is still kind of and it wasn't really something to write home about for me, but it's still a pretty solid game. Like I said, if I gave this a middle between, like, like 5, between like 1 through 10, I'll give it like a 7. And it doesn't really grab me. The my player aspect for this game, it just wasn't that good for me. I give it like pretty low. They just kind of threw you out there like, hey, you'll make your guy, just go out there. I would love to have, like, you start out in like a spring training tryout, and like it depends on your performance of those games, like kind of like they did in NBA. They kind of made you have to earn your spot on a team. This doesn't really have that aspect, or doesn't really have that oof, you know what I mean? It's just, hey, pick a franchise you want to join. So right there, you're already, it doesn't really feel that special. You're like, oh, great, I get to pick any team I want. So, okay, all right, I'll just go to whatever I like. And then they throw you right into the starting rotation, and they throw you right in, and you pitch, basically a full game. I did. And I only have 60 stamina. I mean, I shouldn't be able to last past the 6th inning. I ended up actually pitching this game pretty much into the 8th inning. I mean, that right there, it's just, the little things in this game that just didn't really stand out to me. It just didn't feel like it was my player mode. It just didn't. It felt kind of hacked. That's just my honest opinion. Now, the plus side of this game, guys, it's really a fun game to play. I will say that. It doesn't get boring when you play this game. But as I'm looking for the game modes and that's what type of I got, like, what's what I look for in a game, is that I'm looking for, that real, like, that aspect for a game where I'm just like, man, I really want to, like, oh, my player, it's sick, man. I'm going to keep playing that, over and over and over again. I'll keep playing it. Like NBA, I have not stopped playing that game on my player. It's just always a different aspect. You really feel like you're playing the game, too, because it's like, you really just can't be cheap and call for the whole thing, the whole game. You're going to get bad passes. I'm kind of going off from NBA to MLB, but that's what I'm just talking about, like, different things they went from that to this. Like, 2K should have just maybe kept the same thing, you know what I mean? That's all they had to do was just basically think of what they did with NBA and translate it to this, but it just didn't turn out that way. I don't know what they did. But as for the game, how it runs smoothly, the fielding, like on a fly ball, you really got to watch out for that. You can really overplay it. If you just move the stick the wrong way one time, which I've done several times over again, you can really just mess up the play, and you'll end up making a bad play on the ball. The fielding is still not really 100% smooth for me, but it's still playable. It's still manageable, and it's still not like cheap where it's going to glitch and not actually catch the ball when you're supposed to. But it doesn't look right in the game itself, as in it just doesn't look like an outfielder would make. You know what I mean? He'll make like a backhand, non-look in the air, friggin' catch on a fly ball going backwards. He'll just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna reach out and grab that like the last second. So I mean, that to me was not realistic, and the fielding mechanics kind of take a little toll on you after a while. Like how is that even possible? But also base running gets kind of difficult when you first start playing this game. If you do like a bumper technique to it, it'll advance the runners sometimes to where you don't want them to go. It'll advance all the runners, but you can singly pick out the runners by you can do that through the controls also if you wanted to actually move just one of the runners. So that can get kind of tricky too when you first start to play this game. Pitching in this game, a little tricky at the beginning for me, but like I said, once you start playing a couple of games really in this game, you're going to understand the pitching mechanics. It's not too difficult at all. It may look difficult on paper or as in looking at it, but it's not really that hard once you actually try it. Other than that, guys, like I said, batting in this game, guys, when I did play batting, when I did bat, kind of hard to pick up on the ball in the strike zone. I've had kind of difficulty with that, especially online, because online people are going to be throwing 98-mile-per-hour fastballs, and literally you have to just guess where it is. But I guess in real life you kind of guess where the ball's going to be sometimes on a fastball, like a 98-mile-per-hour fastball. But as a gamer, as a looking as in like an experience as a gaming experience, it's kind of frustrating with the lag, because it's like almost like you have to swing at anything, you know what I mean? And that gets really irritating to me, because it's really about, in baseball, when you're batting, you really want to just be like, hey, I want to watch every pitch. I want to watch where the ball goes. If it's a strike, I can swing and all this. Online, it's really like, all right, well, maybe I'll get lucky and he throws a strike, and maybe it's a fastball. You know what I mean? It's like a guess game. And I mean, I know baseball is a guessing game sometimes when you're hitting, because I played baseball myself. for 8 years, and it really is a guessing game sometimes. But I mean, as in a gaming aspect, like, you know, online, it's really not even a guess. It's like you have to swing, or if you don't swing and you don't get the timing down, you're just going to strike out every time. And it gets a little annoying. So, I mean, as for that issue, that's what I see in the batting. But batting's flawless. I mean, they keep it real simple for you guys. It's a contact, they have defensive swings, and they have power swings. Now, the only cheap thing I disagree, that I don't know why 2K has not fixed this, or why, I don't even know why they bothered to do this, is that when you're batting, and you'll see it online, a lot of people do, is they'll just hold back on the back of the analog stick, meaning they'll step into the pitch. They'll hold it back the whole time, and the batter will just take a step back and just hold that position until the ball is actually coming in. You'll swing, and it's a power hit, and you'll hit a home run. I mean, in real baseball, you have to step into a swing and throw all your weight into it. You don't take a step back, take your 2 feet, and you put them together, and then you just go, oh, the ball's coming, I'm going to swing now. You know, you don't get all your weight in it. You know what I mean? That's not like batting, you know, technique at all. And I probably hit 3 home runs just trying this myself, and it was just pathetic. I'm like, wow. You know, it should be some type of, you know, timing with, like, when the pitch is released out of his hand. Just like I said, those little things in a baseball game can really make a difference. And that's what I noticed that was really kind of a way to, like, look at the game. It's like, come on, you know, like, really. I also want to mention on the batting, finally, I don't know if they did this last year. Like I said, I played this game very faintly last year, but they have what they call is like almost like a batting analyst. And what that means is that when you miss, when you strike out, or when you miss straight up miss a pitch or something like that, it'll show your timing. It'll say very light swing, a very early swing, and it'll show the ball as it delivers into your swing. You know what I mean? It'll show a little camera angle on the bottom right or bottom left of your screen of your last swing, which is actually reminds me of MVP Baseball 2005. Is that they used to do that a lot? MVP Baseball. That was actually a real fun game for me. I mean, that baseball game for MVP. I know we're a little bit off topic here, but that was a game that I enjoyed a lot because the baseball mechanics behind that game just felt like baseball. You felt like you're playing a game, and it felt like it wasn't that hard to play. Now this game, I understand the pitching techniques they're trying to do, and I understand that to throw this ball, you kind of have to make that kind of motion when you throw that ball. You know what I mean? I think that's really cool, but I just don't think they executed it right. In my opinion, they could have did a little bit more. Basically, I don't know. I mean, they could have done a little bit more better things. The pitching is fine. I agree with the pitching, but I shouldn't be able to complete an 8-inning game like it was nothing. That's what I'm just saying. Like, some of the things may not add up to me. But here I am still throwing fastballs here in the 8th inning. I must be up to about, good amount of pitches here, and I'm just throwing them right over the plate, getting perfect accuracy. And I don't have my guy stacked at all. He's really like this is actually my first my player game here. So that's what I found kind of ridiculous. That's why I felt like NBA kind of really took that my player mode, and it really felt like you're playing my player because you just couldn't step in a game and cross a guy up and, go to the hoop and score 50 points a game. Unless if you're glitching or, you're doing something. So you just don't have that stats. You can't do that. But in this game, it gets really off topic, and it just doesn't feel right sometimes because it doesn't act like a regular baseball game. You know what I mean? But other than that, I still give this game a strong 7 out of like a scale of like 1 to 10. I give it a 7, guys. I mean, it could be worse. It could be better. But, I don't know. Give me your guys' opinions about this. He has the goals, has everything. This is the end of the game here. It'll show like the end. Here you are on the bench. I found they probably put the closer in for the last one. We won the game. And there you go. Gives you a little summary of what you did, all this stuff. And then it'll put 12 strikeouts and all that stuff. But give me your opinions on this, guys. And this has been Chad, and you guys take care, all right?